Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Miracle Mindset Podcast. This is our second season. I'm very excited to introduce you to some absolutely incredible guests. We're going to have some amazing conversations. We're going to be posting a new episode every single week. If you want the audio version of it, I'm also going to be linking it in the description as well if you want to find it on Spotify or something like that. And if you love this content, don't forget to like, comment, and hit that red subscribe button. Join the Jam fam. And without further ado, let's get into it. Hello everybody and welcome to a very special episode of Miracle Mindset. I have with me two of my closest friends ever and I'm so happy that you guys get to meet them. This is Chelle and Libs, and as you can see, they're absolutely beautiful, but not only that, they are some of the most beautiful, genuine, boss babe, just awesome people that I've ever met. So I'm excited
Says
for you
the
guys.
one herself.
I'm excited for you guys to sit down with us. We decided to do this episode kind of different. It's going to be like a girl chat talk. Basically, we hang out all the time and we talk about these things. So we thought it'd be fun to like put it out to you guys on Instagram, and we put up a question box and said, what do you guys want to ask us at Girls Walk Time? And you guys sent back a bunch of responses. So welcome to the show, girls.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I'm just really excited. And I'm also a little scared because like we have great chats. And I'm like, let's just do it on camera. Let's just do it. Hopefully it doesn't get us in too much trouble.
I hope it helps. I hope the information, all the things we've been through, like helps you guys. That's really what this is about. It might get me in trouble, but.
So the overall concept of this video, the idea was basically lessons we learned in our 20s. And guys, we're still learning a lot. Like every single day we learn a lot. But between us, we've definitely learned a few things. So let's just get into it. You're in the middle, so do you want to start with the first question?
Yeah, so I had an influx of so many spicy questions. But the number one question that I got is, what do you guys think of one-night stands?
I mean, I've never had one, but I don't think it's a bad thing if you have had one. I'm just like very particular with who I let in my personal space, so I feel like I'm not going to give you me and never see you again. I'm like, that's just not how this works. Like, if you want me, like, you need to work for it. But that's just my personal opinion. But I know people have them all the time, and I'm like, you're living, girl. I'm like, so, that's just me though. But I don't know. Have you guys had one before?
What do you think? So I've actually never had a one-night stand. Okay. I kind of did, but then it turned into like a very serious relationship, which is why I'm sitting right here right now.
Wife material, everyone.
Alex? Literally, that's the only time I've ever, guys. And yeah,
I love that.
And that was it.
I love that for
you. And he goes, it's not a one-night stand. He goes, like, now it's like a 600 something day stand. So anyway, here I am. I'm very blessed.
He couldn't just have you once. He was like, this is the one.
Yeah. So I'm really lucky. I'm really blessed for sure. Give me a shot.
I've had a one-night stand, but I feel like not really. I feel like I don't know if I would consider it a one-night. Like, because every guy that I talk to, it's not like that's it. I feel like a one-night stand is when you hang out, you sleep together, and then you just never talk again.
Yeah.
I have had guys where like I've met them and I've slept with them that night, but then, we still keep talking and we still keep hanging out. But I feel like it just ends up being like, like a fling. Like we're just hooking up and that's all it is. So I feel like they're fine, but I think that my concern would be like STDs.
100%.
So being safe, protecting yourself, like not putting yourself in a bad situation.
Yeah.
For like like an hour or whatever it is, I'm like,
right. What's the benefit?
It's like literally not worth it. I'm like, if you want to sleep with me the first night, like, are you doing this every night? Like, I'm just thinking, like, what's your standard for women? Like, what kind of girls are you dating? Like, that's just not.
Yeah, that's how I feel now that I'm older. I think that like when I did have the one night stand, it was like when I was younger, and I feel like at the place that I'm in my life right now, I don't think it's something that I would do. I just feel like it, like you said, it's a waste of your body, your time. Like, I want to be with a guy because I want to be with him emotionally, intellectually, on so many other levels, and just to have like that physical touch thing, I'm just like, I could get that anywhere, like I'm good. Like I don't need that.
She's like, I have too many people in my DM to pay attention to you, so
I can't with you.
So, next question, Chelle, do you want to hit us with a question?
Yeah.
What do you got for us?
Okay, so the question that stood out to me the most was, what advice would I give a girl in her 20s?
Where do we start?
I mean, there's like so much, but I could look back, I would say just trust what's for you. And that means like my entire life growing up, I was surrounded even by family and friends that just never thought that I could do what I was doing now. But like that fire inside of me was like this big, but it was like still there, and I followed my dreams, and I'm so happy I did. And now everyone supports me. So it's funny how that works. But just do what's best for you, even if your friends and your family don't support you. If you truly believe that it's for you, just do it. And it'll lead you here.
So true.
Yeah.
That's so good advice.
Yeah.
That's really good advice.
I mean, like, no one thought I could do commercials, right? And then I didn't tell anyone I was booking all these commercials, and then I would get phone calls like, hey, is that you in the Old Navy? Or like, hey, is that you doing the, like, the...
You're like on the low?
By the way,
Like, it is.
I turned on the TV the other day, like subtle flex, so like I'm flexing on my friends, but they're so cool. I just turned on the TV and she's like a Hyundai commercial. I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. She didn't even tell her. The
car's this color too.
Oh, yeah.
It's the green color.
We're standing up today.
That is, but I feel like that's one of the things I admire. Obviously, you're my best friend. I admire a million things. But one of the number one things I admire about you is you're so down to earth and so humble to the point, like when you're doing big things that are like big for your career, you're excited and like you talk about it, but you're not like a name dropper, and you're not the type of person when you walk into a room that's trying to show their status. And I feel like as you grow, and as I've seen you grow, no matter, I know you're gonna be huge, but I know that you're never going to be the person in the room that's just demanding the wrong attention. I think that you're the type of woman who walks into the room and you attract attention that's like the good attention, the positive attention, where you're like, you're so grounded in what you're doing, and I love that about you.
Thank you. It's, like, it's nice to like have you grow, seriously. I've never had that in my entire life. Never had friends that like truly supported me.
Independent women have a hard time
it's
on
really,
the way up.
it's like growing up is really hard. Like I was picked on for being like super skinny, like all these things, but now they've worked in my favor. So whatever is not working in your favor now, like just let it be.
Because we live in Los Angeles, and that's like the one thing I don't love about living here is that I feel like so many people are just flexing all the time.
Yeah, they are.
And
it's so flashy here.
It's so flashy, but you're not doing that. You're just truly walking the walk and being genuine, which is awesome. So that is great advice. What about you? What is the advice that you would give to yourself if you...
I was like trying to brainstorm, and she's just, I'm like, the pressure of like in the moment, I'm like, oh, I'm also only like 25, so I'm only like halfway through my 20s. So by no means can I say that I, have a ton of experience here, because I'm still halfway through. But I would probably say, based off like the past couple of years, like as you've seen, so much has changed in my life, and obviously we haven't known each other that long, but I'm sure that you can understand like the development that happens, especially right now for us. Like these years are so pivotal, and the changes that happen from one year to the next are just completely different. So for me, I would probably say like the best piece of advice that I would give myself is to trust your gut and follow your intuition. So it's like when something is a red flag to you from the beginning, trust the red flag. Trust it. I kept doing things because I thought like, no. It's like I'm just seeing it wrong, or like and I'm trying to tell myself.
Well, the good outweighs the bad.
Yeah. You just talk yourself into things instead of listening to the little voice inside of yourself. And the second that you finally listen to it, things just level up 10 million times better than you thought that it could ever be. So I would say, really like follow your heart.
Yeah, Liberty and I got really close. Like right after her breakup, and I was like, trust me. I was like, you're gonna be okay, Liz.
I'm calling her every day, like, can you come over so I can cry?
I'm like, Liz, I promise you, like, I've been through a really bad breakup, you've been through a divorce, and I'm like, it's literally like a redirection. Like you're just like, oh, like now I can do this, and she's like traveling and just doing literally all the things that she should be doing, that you want to do, and being
that I've
like
been
queen.
dying to do my whole life.
It's like you're putting it on pause because you want this to work out so bad. And I did it too. I was like, oh, I want this relationship to work so bad. Like, I'm gonna do this. I'm like, we're gonna make this work. And it was like literally 3 years. No, it's like 3 years of a waste of time. I'm like, no.
Time, energy, effort, money, above. So the best piece of advice that I've ever received, and I've said it before here on the podcast, is to stay in your lane. And I genuinely believe that that applies to every facet of our lives. Comparison is a thief of joy. If I'm comparing like my chapter 1 to your chapter 30, you're comparing your beautiful blonde hair to her dark hair. We're never going to be satisfied because we're all different. So I think like learning to embrace my uniqueness and to stop worrying about what's going on over here and over here, and like actually just like staying focused.
Yeah, like put your blinders on.
Yeah, it's made me so much more productive, but on top of being productive, it just made me more happy because I've like started to fall back in love with myself, if that makes sense. Like don't cover me in the comments if you're like, she loves herself. No, what I'm saying is falling in love with yourself, because we have to, looking at the person in the mirror and being like, I love you because you're a kind person, and instead of like picking myself apart, like, my body, whatever it is, like starting to embrace that. So that's That's my answer.
No, I absolutely love that. I think stay in your lane. Like, just to elaborate, for me, that's like putting my blinders on and not even noticing, because it's not even just like comparison, but it's also, there's a lot of hate in our space that I feel like can be really hard with like the comments, the people that don't support us, the stigma of, you know, modeling or creating. There's a lot of negativity. There's a lot of positivity too, but I think it's important to just remember why you started and remember your why and just lead with that and just, again, like trust your instincts that it's going to go well. Yeah.
I mean, I feel like what's helped me, it's like I literally believe that everyone on this planet has a gift, and when they share it with the world, like they shine, whatever that gift is. So I'm like, and I know I'm like, okay, when I'm comparing myself to someone's like I'm forgetting my gift. Like, what's my gift? And what can I do to share it with other people and be of service?
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, my mood's changed. Now I'm happy, and now I can be more productive.
Right.
Because I'm happy, and like I know what my purpose is. What my intention is. And I'm like, okay, great. Now, like, I love you. Like, you look great. Now I look great too. And this is what I'm doing. And how do we come together? So that's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I feel like we could just do a whole episode on that, on just that one question. Like, what is advice for your younger self? Because I mean, there's so many things I'm like, I wish that I knew that. It makes so much sense. Like, it makes so much sense.
So comment right now if you want part 2.
Exactly.
Wait, have you guys seen it? I'm gonna have to find it and put it here on the screen for you guys to see. But there's like this meme, and it's like a guy. It's a couple, and they're laying in bed, and then the guy's like laying on his side, and then the girl's like, "What is he thinking about? Like, is it a breakup or like whatever?" And he's just like, "Did I clean the car or something?" Like, So that just like makes me think about like when you stay in your lane, when you like stop overthinking, like, you know, it just it saves you so much heartbreak. It really
does. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so what's our next question?
Next question I have is tips on letting go of negative, toxic friendships or relationships.
Huge one for in your 20s, because you acquire a lot of new friendships, and you also shed a lot of negative, toxic ones, and they're really, I feel like friendship breakups are so difficult, and they I mean, obviously, you know, intimate ones are exhausting as well, but friendship ones really suck. It's like your best friend from high school, you're just like, oh, like, I loved you.
Is that sad? Like, you think you're gonna do life with someone, and then you just like
really hard.
Like, you see them like posting on their page that they got engaged or had a baby, and you're like, oh, like, we used to do everything together. It's crazy. Tips for letting go. I would say like coming to terms with it, because I mean, you can only try so hard. Like, you know, if it's a one-sided friendship, like, that's gonna be draining you, because like, you know, we've all been in a space where we're like reaching out to people, like connecting with them, but they're just not giving them back.
I think for me, what happened was like, I was like, you know, this is just a part of my life and a part of growth, and so I don't take it personally. I used to be like, oh my God, like, but I'm such a good friend. Like, why wouldn't you want to be my friend?
Totally,
You know,
like, what do you mean?
So when you start taking it personally.
Yeah, and then I'm like, I don't take it personally, because now it's like, I don't know what they're going through. You never know someone's full life. Even if you think you do, you really don't. You don't know what they've been through, what's gotten them there, what choices they've made, you know, to get them to where they are. So I'm like, okay, like, maybe this is the best thing for them, and if me not being a part of it is better for their life, then I'm willing to do that, as long as they're happy. So just not taking it personal and just wishing them the best in whatever it is.
I feel like on like the avenue to growth, like, all of us are very independent, very motivated women, and I think that, I'm sure you guys have noticed that as we, you know, pave our path to our empire, there's a lot of people that are in your close circle that you thought were going to be there and clap for you, and they're actually on the back end like talking smack. And that type of stuff is really, I can definitely admit that I take that to heart, because I'm just like, why? Like, why put out so much negative energy towards me when I wish you nothing but the best? But I feel like in those circumstances, jealousy is huge.
And comparison, because now they're saying like, they're like, oh, I'm not doing as good as her. And then, and then they're like talking bad about you to diminish your win. You know?
I feel like how I approach something like that and how I will, you know, be done with that friendship is, the first step is like, obviously I want to fizzle down any bad emotions, because I never want to end a friendship on bad terms. I want it to be very like, let's be cool to each other. Like, we don't have to be best friends, but like
adults.
Yes, exactly. Like, hey, like, I still support you, and I wish you the absolute best. There's no animosity. There's no bitterness. I want the best for you, and just like letting it be there instead of having it be this huge blow up argument, you know, text message. Like, it's not, we're not in high school. Let's not be immature. Let's not call each other names. Let's not have drama. Let's just let it fizzle down and like wish each other the best, and you know, that's cool, and that's okay.
It's sad sometimes, there's like a missing spot.
Yeah.
I think one thing that like I've really learned is to like be aware of like the question was letting go of toxic friendships and relationships. I've been in positions where we get along great, but I don't necessarily love who I am when I'm with you.
Yeah.
Because we all change. It's a fact.
Yeah,
Like we all have this version of ourselves that we are with different people. Like the way I talk to my girlfriends is going to be different to the way that I talk to Alex. Is different to the way I talk to my parents. You know.
Right.
So sometimes there's people who don't bring out the best in us, and like even though we're getting along really well, you might be gossiping about other people, and now I'm gossiping about other people because I'm there, and I'm like it's not bringing out a good side of me. So I think being aware of who we're hanging out with and investing our time into as well.
Yeah.
I know, I've kind of learned that you can't always like have an adult conversation. Like sometimes you just have to be like, hey, I'm busy today, but like, you know, like maybe I'll catch you next time. Like you just kind of have to start like separating yourself from them, and that can be really hard when like let's say you went to go grab coffee with this person every morning, and now like your mornings you're like, oh my god, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
But you just have to start separating yourself and just like trust the process, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's like that Tupac quote. It's like, I still want to see you eat, but just not at my table. So it's like,
Yeah.
I still want you to be successful, but like,
Exactly.
we just can't do it
like
together.
Just drops the Tupac quote.
I love that. I was gonna say, you guys know I love journaling, and this is
Yeah.
something that I did at the beginning of my years. I honestly like sat down with my journal and I just made a column of like all of my favorite qualities in an ideal friend. And like you were saying, you are who you surround yourself with. So for me, it's like, obviously I want an ambitious girl. I want a girl who has good morals. I want a girl who is positive and like, you know, uplifts the room. So all of those little things that are really important to me. And then what are the negatives of things that I don't want? And then just going through my close circle of friends in my head, like, you know, who encompasses what, and is there anyone that I should shed this year that maybe aren't necessarily serving me anymore, and knowing that that's completely okay if they're not going to be in my next chapter, because we're all growing, you know?
Would you have a conversation with that person though, or were you just kind of like, not
No,
make
I
plans with
mental
them?
note it, honestly, because there's something, I mean, kind of like you said,
it's
sometimes you don't need to have the argument, the conversation,
don't own
it goes
explanation.
unsaid. Yeah, sometimes you just like, it's in your own,
drift.
you also don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Like maybe there's a girl in my circle that like I notice she's negative. Like I don't need to be like, yo, you're negative. Like, because it's,
I
you
can't
know.
hang with you anymore.
Yeah, I just.
You can't sit with us anymore.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, what do you mean? Because then then they're gonna feel like you're attacking them. It's a whole thing. So I would rather just leave something like that and like let it be.
Yeah, sometimes
Just
you don't
mental.
owe an explanation. Like it's better just like tastefully, gracefully.
Yeah.
Say,
Bye.
peace out.
Yeah.
Drop a Tupac quote. Peace out. All right, next question, and I'm intrigued to see what you guys have to say about this. It's a debate that I was actually having with Alex earlier this month, and Justin behind the camera, we were also talking about this. Is titles a thing in your 20s? Like, do you need, if you're dating someone, do you just consider them your girlfriend or boyfriend, or do you have to still ask them, be my girlfriend, be my boyfriend? Putting it out there. What do you guys think?
I'm just gonna be honest. I think asking somebody straight out, flat out, is so cheesy and so high school. Like, do not be like, do you want to be my girl? Like, I'm gonna throw up on the floor. Like,
I'm the opposite. I'm like, I appreciate that stuff, and I'm like, I need that stuff.
but that's also like, because hopeless romantics, not hopeless romantic.
I was
like
like
not-
hopeful romantic.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but like more romantic. I should just say romantic. More romantic. More like
Yeah,
I'm just black heart.
But in saying that,
but I'm not. I feel like I care just in different ways.
but doesn't that mean that if you were seeing a guy and like whatever you've been like seeing each other for a while, and, like wouldn't that just mean now you're automatically girlfriend boyfriend? If there's no need
like
for a
we're
title?
dating. Like what else?
But what does dating mean? Does that mean you're exclusive, or you guys just?
But that's something him and I determine. Does the world need to know if I'm exclusive with him? He and I know that. That's our conversation.
Cool, that's
like
a
I'll
tricky
sit down with my man and be like, "Hey, we're exclusive. Like you're mine."
Yeah.
But like I'm not gonna go out to the
And be
world
like,
and be like,
"Hey,
"Hey, we're exclusive.
have a
We're
boyfriend."
exclusive." Like I'm good.
Wait, so you don't want to do Instagram official? Like I need
Oh
my man
my
to
God.
be like.
Oof.
I'm like that too.
So in my 20s, I was like Libs. I was like, nope. I'm like.
What do you mean
I
Instagram
don't
official? Like you want to have like?
No, but like he posts a picture of you on his
I don't mean to laugh,
feed.
but I'm just like, do you put up a post of you two together? Like
Yeah, but it doesn't.
together.
It doesn't. The caption doesn't need to say, "Hey guys, we're
Right,
official."
right.
But it could be like.
It's just like, hey, we're
Christmas.
together.
We
Showing
spent Christmas
him.
together. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
exactly.
I feel that.
Not be like, this is my boyfriend. I'll be like, this is Alex, or like, showing him.
Yeah.
Right.
Interesting. Okay, that's so interesting because I'm
This is like a whole episode.
I'm a very much a title person.
Also, how different we are. It's
And
just
also-
so quickly. I was like, I'll go first.
When Alex asked me, I bawled my eyes out. Like bawled my eyes
Like, because you're
out.
so excited.
Yeah, because I was
Aw.
just like emotional, and I was like, it's
love that.
official. Like I don't know. I just like I knew it even though we were official before we were official.
Yeah,
I don't
like
know.
you still needed that like.
Yeah, that
comfort.
affirmation.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
okay.
Interesting. So you said no, and you said
So in my 20s, I was like, you libs. I'm
Yeah.
like, because I feel like for me, it gave me like a way out. Like, well, like, I mean, we never had that talk. Like, what do you think this is? You know, it was like my way out. But now in my 30s, I'm like, I'm ready to get married and have kids.
Yeah.
So that's what I want, and I'm very open about that.
Yeah.
When
Right.
like as I'm dating, so I'm like, do you want this or not? If that's not what you want, cool. Someone does. So is it you or
Right.
not?
Right.
Because I'm not wasting my time. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't have time to waste. So I want
Right.
kids and a family. Do you want it? Yes. Cool. Let's do it. If not,
Bye.
bye.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah. Yeah.
Tupac.
I can't remember the quote, but I'm just writing it at the table.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for sitting down with me. This was so much fun.
This is so fun.
I wish I could keep going, but our cameras have already overheated at least 3 times. So we're going to cut it here. Comment below if you want us to do another episode slash more content together.
Part
because
2
that
has
was-
to happen.
That was so much fun.
There's
And-
so many more questions that we could
Yeah,
not
I
answer
know,
too.
I
So many
know.
juicy
I feel
ones.
bad. Honestly, I feel
Yeah.
bad. You guys is that we all
I
ask
feel
our.
like we talk a lot.
Yeah, we do.
We do.
We're very
We
opinionated.
talk a lot.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Like,
thank
I'm
you.
very happy.
You're the best. We obviously adore you, and
Yeah.
we want you back in LA.
Guys, don't forget to go check these 2 out. I'm going to link them both below. They have incredible, incredible content. As I said earlier, it's just inspiring, it's uplifting, and it's just real, which is something that social media really, 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 really lacks. So I appreciate you guys being here.
Thank you.
Don't forget to check them out, and I will see you guys very soon.
Bye.